Fuck the club, let's do it my way. Fuck the club, let's do it my way. I say, fuck the club, let's do it my way. Fuck the club, let's do it my way. Fuck the club.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I know it's been a little while. This time it's been approximately a week since I've been on. And I do want to apologize for that. I've been kind of it's been kind of a really rough week. Actually, it's been a little bit of a rough couple weeks. Um, so a lot of you may not know, and because I didn't want to really, I know how to really talk about it too much, but I had a dear friend of mine, passed away recently, so I was, going to their viewing and funeral this this past few days, and yeah, so kind of this week I just been, really kind of working hard so I could get some time off of work, and so I could go and do that. And coming home, I was like really tired, so I didn't really have the energy to do that. And with everything just kind of coming up to this point, yeah, I just kind of had a lot of things to process and a lot of things going on. And, I don't want to obviously dive too deep into that, but, I'm here now to finish up the part 2 of that functional programming. But, yeah, and I know, doing this would get my mind off of it and, help me feel a bit better. But, yeah, it's just been kind of rough, and I think a lot of people that have gone through this know exactly how it feels. So yeah, but I think before we start moving on to the lesson, I really hope that a lot of you, or any of you, that, let's call it, that are thinking about ending your journey, before you get to that point, I really highly encourage you to, search for an available outlet before you get to that point. There's so many resources and so many programs and so many things out there that are more than willing to help, and to hear you and to validate your feelings. And there are many countless reasons why people come to that conclusion, but I just it's just, not only is it hard for the those some of you that are going through it, but once your journey is ended, the people who are, I think, left behind, are still here and still feeling it. And some of us do feel the kind of that guilt, that we couldn't do more before that time. So yeah, I mean, I can't go, and I can't I'm not going to group anyone up, or, um, say all you guys or anyone who is considering are all in those same positions or whatnot, because every situation is different. But, you know, I think just the biggest impact is, your family and your friends. And if you got, children, that, I think that's the biggest, the biggest thing that at least gets me is, a lot of these kids wondering, I guess, where their parent is. And, I know, I know how hard it is to, combat those kind of thoughts sometimes, or, think that you're worthless or things not going right. Um, you know, I want to say that, out of your whole life you have to live, you know, at this point in time, it's a rough patch for a very minuscule amount of time that you could potentially be on this earth. And, even if you're having a rough time, at this point, gradually with time, it can, get better. But, you have to see it to that point. And, like I said, I highly encourage anyone that is, looking for an outlet or having, those kind of thoughts to reach out. And I know that's hard. And, a lot of people consider that a weakness, but I consider that like one of the greatest strengths, to know when you hit a point that, you feel so low that, to be able to reach out to someone or reach out to a program or whoever to, have someone that'll listen to your feelings and your emotions and see what you're going through. Because, after being able to have someone you're consistently being able to talk to, you might be able to, see things from a different perspective, or get out all those, those feelings that are built up. And, a lot of people think that medication is a weakness, and it's not. Some people have to have it, in order to, get to a point where they're healthier, and, not only just physically, obviously, but, mentally. And, the biggest thing is to still have you here, because, you have people that do care about you, even though you may not think it at that time. But, you also could have people that will grow bonds with you over time. So that's, even maybe not that point, you think you're lost, but like, over time you might meet someone or meet people or a group of friends or whatnot that will make you feel validated. So, like I said, I'm not going to keep diving deep really into it, but, if you've made it this far, I'm proud of you. And, it takes a lot to make it through those kind of struggles. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't make it, and it sucks. I mean, it's hard, especially like if you see people on the other end, once you're gone and your journey has concluded, you know, we all wish we still had more time to see you. I know this is this is a like, programming and you know sessions and that sort of stuff, and a lot of people come here to be able to kind of escape those feelings and be able to focus on other things. But having this whole week to reflect on life, it's really a beautiful thing. Like, once you see things from new perspectives that usually are drowned out by the everyday everyday busyness and routines that you get into, you kind of get numb to like all this, the small things that make life wonderful. So I would cherish all the time that you have with the people around you, and enjoy their company, because you never know when it could be, when your own journey would conclude or theirs. So make everything meaningful, like any conversation you have meaningful. Enjoy the company that's around you, and whatever you're doing out there, like your work or your hobby, or your dreams that you want to obtain, or your goals, do it fiercely. Like, do it with as much passion as you can, even when it's a struggle. Like, do like what you can at 100%, because you only have one life to live, and the best thing you can do is do your best. And that's part of a speech that someone gave at this at a funeral, that whatever you're doing, go out and do it fiercely. And that really stuck with me, because that's the kind of person that my friend was. He did everything just fiercely, and he always gave 100% to whatever he was doing. I think that's a good example to live by. And thank you guys for kind of being here, kind of listening to that. But yeah, I apologize for not having such a long wait. But it's been kind of hard. But yeah, what really can you can you do after it's already happened? Well, anyway, I had to get that out before I started going into any of these other lessons, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys all knew and I was able to get that out, because I'll tell you what, a lot of these people that usually end their journeys are great people who are just internally struggling. And it's rough. It's rough. But yeah, I guess it's hard to go into, I guess, doing a stream kind of after a talk like this. But, oh, I don't know. It almost makes me wonder if I should be doing it right now, but I think I just need to get back into it, into this routine, and be able to just continue what we've been doing. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through, and we'll kind of lighten up the the mood a bit. So we will go ahead and move over to the functional programming and see where we can get. So let's move that over to the screen. There we go. Okay. I would like to be able to get rid of this message. It's just hanging there. How do I get... That's a pain. I like to be able to... I mean, obviously I can clear the chat, but it doesn't look like it's actually clearing. It's just still sitting there. Whatever. It's just a crappy ad. Okay, whatever. Okay, so basically it's going with the differences between splice and slice. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate the follow. So as we already know, slicing, whenever you slice, whatever you start and to the end, it creates a whole new array. And with splice, you're actually taking all those values and you're removing it from the array. So if you store that into another value, you know, that'll get all the spliced values and put that in there in that new array. So yeah, compound. You want to remove items and keep the rest of the array. Okay, yeah. So this is just going into splicing and slicing. So rewrite the function non-mutating splice by using slice instead of splice. Okay. Well, this is slice. By using slice instead of splice, it should limit the provided cities array to a length of 3 and return a new array with only the first 3 items. Oh, did we already do that before we left? Oh yeah, okay. This was 50. Gotcha. We already did this last time. So yeah. And that's when we started at 0 with the first and went over 3. Okay, we did that. So run that. And we'll go to the next. Okay, so this is where we're first starting. So concatenation means to join items together, right? And so let's just we just use the concat feature. So you have the 1, 2, 3 array, and then you do a dot concat, you know, function, and then you put in what you want to concatenate on this array. So now whenever you do it, it'll return a 1, 2, 3 plus the 4, 5, 6 that's in that array. So use the concat method and non-mutating cat. So we'll do the original, right? And then we'll do a concat. Hey, thanks Popo for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot. So we have that original concat. Oh, I have to. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. There we go. That might be a little too loud. That's way too loud. Okay, I think that's okay. I hope that's not like too loud or whatnot. Just let me know if that's too loud, and I'll turn it down a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put the concat on the original, and then we're gonna concatenate the attach, right? But we also are going to return this back, so here we go. So let's see how that goes. So the first one is what we're putting in here, and the second, so this is the original, and then this is the attach. We're going to do a console.log to take a look. All right, see, now it's 1, 2, 3, and then here's the 4, 5. So there you go. And that is the concatenate feature on how we add together. So we'll test that. All right, done with that. Creating and using non-mutating functions. So last challenge introduced concat. Compare concat to the push method. Push adds items to the end of the array it is called on, which mutates that array. Here's an example, right? We'll have modified value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Which is not the functional programming way. 4, 5, 6. Concat offers a way to merge new items to the end of an array without any mutating side effects. 3, 4. Functional way. Without any mutating side effects. Functional programming is the way. So creating using non-mutating functions. So it's mutating the actual array. So if you do a concat, it doesn't end the end. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and drop that down then. Is that better? Well, it kind of ended, so I hope that's not worse. Is that better? Yeah, cool. All right, cool. Just want to make sure you can at least hear me. I don't want to be like too loud for you guys and like blaring in your ear. But yeah, so if we concatenate these, so it doesn't, because for a push, you're actually adding it on there. And then first, so if we're doing a push, okay, hold on. So the original dot push with the new item, right? So does first now log first. So there we go. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right here. So it's not actually pushing those inside of it. It's going 1, 2, 3, and then it's actually adding an array inside of it. So now if we did a concat instead, so see, the first and second one remain the same. So even though we made a concat on the original and we're concating it on the new item, we're not actually mutating it. It's going to be the same. Short recap? Yeah, I can give a short recap. So, I started programming back in high school. I was introduced with HTML, CSS. Well, more HTML. I took like a class in high school. And you know, when I started taking college courses, I started learning about more of CSS. So I did HTML, CSS, that sort of work. There was a little bit of JavaScript in there, but it wasn't like a whole lot. And quite frankly, a lot of the JavaScript that I know, I've had to learn kind of on my own, because in high school, or like when I was in college and doing like college courses, I was doing a lot of like Java, and I was doing like Visual Basic, and I did some C++, and this is when I was getting like my associates. So I would do that, and then when I moved on to my bachelor's degree a couple years after that, for software development, I ended up doing a lot more Java. So, you know, it's been a lot of taking upon myself to kind of branch upon that. It was like a lot of like kind of mobile development here and there. But, you know, the thing is, if you don't do it often enough, it just kind of starts to slip away until you start doing it again. So I've learned a lot of the mostly a lot of fundamentals on how all programming languages kind of are kind of similar to one another. You know, it's just syntax. The syntax is different between languages, and there are certain functions like between languages that make things a lot easier, or could be more complicated, depending on which one you're using. But yeah, I've been doing kind of programming for a long time now. There was a few jobs where I was like, you know, a web developer for a team, and I was doing that. I've written PowerShell applications for my work, along with VBA, using you know, macros. But yeah, so I thought, I got kind of tired of learning by myself. So now I like to be able to learn with, you know, everyone else that I come in contact with, or that decide to check out my channel. So that way I get a lot more kind of feedback on the stuff that I don't know, and I could be able to provide kind of the stuff I do know in more detail to people that are wanting, better explanations. Because I have a lot of friends that don't know, or I've noticed a big connection between people that have went to school for and took some computer classes, and not liking it or not enjoying it well because the teacher was kind of failing them and wasn't really explaining it deep enough, or they were going way too fast with it. So anyone that I thought this would be a great experience to have, anyone that comes through here to be able to, watch my videos, to be able to, have a human connection, to be able to learn. So, this is partially stuff that you can and can't get within the classroom, because one, it's more than, a 30-40 minute class or an hour long class. I, do like a couple hours each time. Obviously there's some times where it runs over more than that. And, yeah, you just can't get that in the classroom, and you have like tons of homework and that sort of stuff. So, anyone who wants to rewatch these videos, like on YouTube or whatnot, can. And like I said, I have friends right now that are starting near the beginning, that are watching my videos and learning along with me. So it's a great kind of give back, and not only to kind of help myself, but to help other people be able to explore what programming can do, and hopefully steer people who want to do this field in a right direction. So we right here, that's why we're going through FreeCodeCamp, so that way we can start from the beginning and work our way down through all these certs. And obviously there's a lot of times where I just get tripped up on all this crap. I mean, like, I know when I get to the next section, when we start doing intermediate program algorithms, I'm definitely gonna need, I'm gonna need some help. I'll probably be researching and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's all about having fun, while also being able to, get valuable experiences. So yeah, that is my experience with it, and yeah, welcome to the stream. But I'm gonna jump back onto here. So this first, so even though we did this right here, right? We ran this function. Since we used the concat, this didn't actually change that first right here. So, but if I go over here and I do a console.log, it'll actually show this right here. So it's not actually changing or mutating anything. It's actually just showing what this is. So there you go. I think this should be good. And I'm getting rid of that. There we go. It's 58. Alright. So now we got reduce. So most general of all array operations in JavaScript, you can solve almost any array processing problem using the reduce method. Allows for more general forms of array processing, and it's possible to show that both filter and map can be derived as special applications of reduce. Iterates over each item in an array and returns a single value. So string, number, object array. This is achieved via callback function that's called on each iteration. Okay. So the callback function accepts 4 arguments. The first argument is known as the accumulator. Alright. Which gets assigned the return value of the callback function from the previous iteration. Okay. The second is the current element being processed. What's the sign of return value? The third is the okay. So they have the second is the current element being processed, and the third is the index of that element, and the fourth is the array upon which reduce is called. Okay, so see, this is one of those instances that it helps having, you know, that I don't actually know fully. So this is my first time seeing the reduce method, so I'm trying to make sure that I grasp what this is all, saying. Let's assign the return value of the callback. Okay. Callback function reduce has an additional parameter which takes an initial value for accumulator. If this second parameter is not used, then the first iteration is skipped and the second iteration gets passed the first element of the array as the accumulator. Okay, so let's see below for an example using reduce on users array. Okay. So we have the users.reduce. So this is the array. Then we're calling reduce. And then here's the arguments where you have the sum and then the user, right? And then pointer function, so sum plus the user.age. Okay, so the age 34, 20, 10, and so 0. So 3, 4, 5, so 54, 64. Right, so it's going to sum up all these. I have a lot of experience around it, so it doesn't mean like like how do I say it, like with specific languages, like I know the fundamentals of all languages, so like I know how some things can transfer into another, but syntax wise, I mean, I'm learning just as much as you are. And, I have to relearn C++ again because it's been a while since I've used it. But I'll tell you, Kotlin and C++ are good combinations. I know Kotlin is quote-unquote supposed to replace Java, but I would definitely, learn Java as well, just so the fact of a lot of, if you're going, well, I guess it depends what kind of developer you want to be, but if like you're doing things with like Kotlin and that sort of stuff, I would also like learn Java just for the fact that a lot of businesses and a lot of um, big corporations still use Java, and that way you get kind of a sense of both worlds in that respect. Because Kotlin can be definitely used for more of the Android SDK, and the mobile, aspect of things, while Java is more of like the business application side. So it'd be good to have those kind of two, know those kind of two things. But yeah, C++ can be used in almost anywhere. Like, the Unreal Engine for gaming uses C++. You have a lot of programs and stuff like in businesses that use C++. Um, yeah, there's tons of different uses. A lot of programming languages. But that's awesome. That's good. I mean, even though you're new to programming, it's good that you're jumping into it. I would say, Kotlin and C++ as beginner languages is kind of advanced. So I switched to C++, right? Interested in AI and logic programming. I was thinking about game dev or Python AI dev, but I'm pretty set for the game dev for now. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And bravo to you to like pick like a more advanced language, to start out with, and it's not easy, especially if that's like a first language or something. That's tough because there's a lot to it. I mean, I would personally, anyone starting out would either start out with like the web dev, you know, um, like how like FreeCodeCamp has been doing it, starting out with your HTML, CSS, or with your JavaScript, and then moving forward. But if you're not interested in that, I definitely say like for people that are wanting to get into programming, like specifically to start out with Python, just because Python is so user friendly, um, and it's a lot easier as like a starting language. Um, it's also a lot more easily readable. And FreeCodeCamp actually has a Python course that uh, I would say later on we'll probably get to, just so we can have it. Um, but at some point, I'm gonna also put like a git uh, to upload all of these projects to GitHub. So I'll go over a video with trying to, um, just kind to be able to submit these to GitHub and put all your projects on your profile. But I'm kind of storing all those up for later. Just kind of trying to get all these other certifications underway and then modify our projects to where, you know, we can implement more cool things with them. But yeah, um, Python. You can't go wrong with Python. Python's used in so many applications, so many different things, especially for data structures. But yeah, so you have the array right here. Over each item array returns a single value, right? So right here we would use sum. Reduce. Pages. So the sum plus the user's age. So basically it's taking this sum and it's using that user's age over time, like it just keeps adding it up. And is this the starting point at 0? So for here, in another example, we see how an object can be returned containing the names of the users as properties with their ages as values. So you have users object. So you have the reduce, which takes an object and the like a user. So you have the object with the user.name, assign it to the user age, and then you return it. Okay. This means that it's starting immediately. So let's start with John 34, right? So the name assigning to user age right here. So I agree, C++ can be difficult to start with and can even steer you away from programming. But I know I really love programming after trying Kotlin, and that's why it's going pretty smooth with... Hey, man, look, if you are able to understand it and, you know, you're doing pretty well, then keep doing it. I mean, I just know a lot of people, you know, starting off with that a lot of people would look at it and be like, this is way out of my league, and, you know, probably prematurely give up. Yeah. I'll actually pause this real quick, come back down here, just to give you a show, but right here, scientific computing with Python certification. They have one. They have a data analysis with Python certs. So these two right here deal a lot with Python. So you can do that. But yeah, we're doing this one, or we just finished the responsive web design, and we're on JavaScript algorithms, data structures. But then after here, we'll move on to front-end development with libraries. So this will deal with like Bootstrap and like React, and then you have like data visualization. Then you can use relational databases with like SQL and back-end development and etc. But yeah, eventually it'd be good to get through a lot of these. But I think once we get to like learning about the back-end development and that sort of stuff, or maybe after here, it'd be good to start pushing things to GitHub. But it would be good to know the backends to these things as well. But yeah, and you said something about machine learning, that machine learning Python course. There it is right there. Is your machine learning with Python certification. So there you go right there. And now that should teach you whatever you need. Alright, so we'll get back into here, back where we were at. So we're going to reduce. So let's make the variable watch list holds an array of objects. Okay, hold on. Okay. Below this line. So we have the average rating. Alright, so it's returning that. So what is average rating? So average rating would be assigned to the watch list is the array or of objects. So dot reduce. Okay, so array of objects with information of several movies. You reduce to find the average IMDb rating of the movies directed by Christopher Nolan. Okay. So recall from prior channels had to filter data and map over to pull what you need. You may need to create other variables and return the average rating from getRating function. Ah! Okay. So... ugh. Crap. Okay. So let's get the... wait. Now I just need to hold on a second. Now I need to figure this out, because now I need to do multiple steps. Yeah. Return the average rating from getRating function. Note that the rating values are saved as strings. So we have to get all the ratings. Well, first we have to filter. So let filtered movies. So let's make the filtered movies actually, let's make this first. So the filter movies would be watch list dot filter, and then so let's filter this. Filter if what is it? So movie dot director filtered director. Okay, so let's movie dot what if I just filtered? I just need to see. So watch this stuff filter. Okay. So if I did Okay, is equal to Christopher Nolan. So Christopher Nolan. So I have all the movies that are by Christopher Nolan now. Okay. So now, yeah, so now I have, yeah, I have a filter. I should check out, oh yeah, I had already addressed that. But yeah, we filtered that, and now we have to get all the ratings. So that's the average rating. So let's do so let's ratings equal, let's do a map to make a new array. So map dot no, filtered director, right? And we want to do a map on it where rating would equal, oh no, rating what is it? IMDb. IMDb rating. I'm trying to figure out how do I grab that. I'm trying to map it. How do I? Trying to think. Yeah, how do I map? No. No, I wouldn't use that.
This is the future.
I gotta remember. So.
Evolution.
Oh yeah, I did this.
This is the future.
So there we go. So this just creates an array of all the ratings from Christopher Nolan. And now,
Evolution.
so we're doing it right. So this is a filter of filtering everything to Christopher Nolan. But then we're creating a map of an array of objects or array of values using just the IMDb rating. Now, this is where we're going to get the ratings dot reduce, right? And then now this is when we have to get all of I gotta look at. So you got some. So actually, I have to use the restroom. So give me. Oh, my schedule. Usually, every other day I try to stream. So like I stream. Like I would stream today, and then Sunday I would be the next, and then it's every 2 days. This week I kind of took a break because of the subjects that I described at the beginning of this this video. Hey, thanks, man, for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, I took this kind of week off due to, like, you know, the personal issues that I was describing at the beginning of this session. And it'll be up on YouTube if you wanted to see more, or actually it'll be up on here still for the next few days. If you want to go ahead and if you want to see why, but yeah. Usually it's every other day, unless, like, you know, with work or whatnot, like I get like overwhelmed, or I get like super like just worn out and tired, then, like, you know, I'll push it like to the next day. So usually just I'd say, like, just follow and, you know, look out for like notifications when they come up. But yeah, that's usually where what I try to do, if I can help it. But yeah, what's up, Enumer? So we're reducing this. So we have what we're wanting to do. So we have, okay, let's do the average, and we have some, and then we have the rating, right? So it would be nice. It's always fun. It's a good time. No, I would only need the average in some, I believe, from this. Well, and then I would need the array, so yeah. But yeah, I have to use the restroom, so give me one moment. I'll be right back. Alright. I am back again. So let's see what we can do here. So we've gotten all the arrays now. We've gotten all the values for this array for the ratings. So now we need to find the average. So we kind of want to do, so first off, we want to do a so sum plus the do we do a sum? Do we even put average? Do we do that? No, that should be thrown in here. So we have the sum, and the rating. So we can do sum plus the I'm trying to think. So we can do hold on. I'm trying to think. So we gotta get the sums because we have to add them all together, right? Plus rating dot well, so what would that be? The average rating, right? So it's 8.8 if we do a it just gets the first value, right? Okay. Rating. I'm trying to figure out how would I do this. Because it's doing the sum. I can do the ratings, but there's really no. I mean, if I was doing this, then wouldn't that be like a? Wait. If I do a sum, can I do a? Okay, hold on. The average. You got to do a so you do a sum of all the rings and then you divide by the length of the array. Well, this is the map. This is getting all of them. But now I just need to add each one of these. Would that be another? Okay. Do a map. So, that's not how I had that. That'd be, could do be a for loop, but I don't want to use a for loop. Wait, hold on. Right. Zero. Right. Trying to figure this out. How? Well, the thing is, it makes a what? Oh. So for you. Will it be some? No, that'd be dumb. No. Gosh dang it. I'm trying to think. Man, that's why you don't take long breaks in between stuff, because now you're trying to... Wait, hold on. Uh... Hmm. Is that concatenating? I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. Is it just... Oh. Oh. That's why. These are... Gosh darn it. I've been doing this wrong. It's a... They're integers, or they're strings. I need to convert those to numbers. There we go. So each one, this is the sum, and they're going to keep adding over one another, which produces 34.7, right? Right? We got it. And then divided by rating, wait. Okay, I can't do that. So if we do that, right? Some ha ha! We have done it! So we filtered it on the director. We then filtered it, or then created an array of IMBD ratings based off of this filter. Converted all of those strings, because these are all strings, to integers or to numbers, because remember when we were adding, like, if this does a plus right here, this means it's concatenating if it pertains to strings. So they just bump up next to each other. They don't add together. Which is why I was sitting there and I was like, why is that all bumping together? Well, that makes sense. So when we did that, we then reduced it to produce one value, which we use the sum to hold all the sums, and then the item is each item in the array. So we did a sum, and then we would plus by the item, and it would do that for each one of them. And so then we got the average by using the sum ratings, that total, and then we divide it by the length of the ratings array. And that's how we got the average. Ta-da! Awesome. That's great. Oh yeah. So we'll keep going there. They have worked through a few challenges using higher order functions like map, filter, and reduce. Compile them to solve a more complex challenge. Great. Like the last one wasn't that challenging. So complete the code for the square list function. Combination of map, filter, and reduce. The function should return a new array containing the squares of only the positive integers. Decimal numbers are not integers. Decimal numbers are not positive integers. When an array of real numbers is passed to it. Example of array with real numbers is... Okay. Right. Function should not use any kind of for or while loops for the for or the for each function. It already caught on what I was doing. I was going to use a for each to filter if it was a float or not. Damn it. Okay. Alright. Well, shit. Okay. So, it's using the array, returning the array right here. So it's accepting an array argument and returning it. So, okay, so we need to filter it. New should return a new array containing the Alright, so actually I'm going to use a const for this, because I don't think we need to remake this anyway, so we're going to use the filter list. We're going to use the array dot filter, right? And, so let's do... items in there, so the items not equal to how do I conduct a float? What would be the term for float? Okay, hold on. Let's do this. Items greater than or equal to 0. Right? So this produces. All right, so we now have positives. Okay. So we got the positives, right? Now we have to, well, maybe we can do a round. So let's do, or because the floor rounds down, and we use floor, or we round up for ceiling. So, or would it just be round? Let's try that. So const mapped list. Oh wait. Okay. So wait, does it want a single one? A new array consists of square containing the squares of only the positive integers.
Break it down. Dark wave. Break it down.
Excuse me? Square.
Dark wave.
Oh. But that return. Oh, crap. So. Oh. Well, I don't want one value passed me. I have to. Oof. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. So
Dark wave.
oh, we have to square it.
Break it down.
Okay. So
Dark wave.
so how we also have to filter out.
Break it down.
Not equal to.
Dark wave.
How do I do that kind of check? Uh-huh. Item, haha, okay. So that makes sense. So we'll do and items. Man. So items, okay, and item, okay. So we're using modulus here. So items 1 is not equal to 0. Oh yeah, Wait, I won't use it right now. So, no. It has to equal 0. So we have 5 and 3. So out of this whole list, 5 and 3 are values that are positive and they are not they're not decimals. I forgot this is how you use that module. So you use the items, and then, you know, if the remainder is 1, or after they do a 1, if the remainder is 0, then it'll add it. But also, like, if it wasn't equal to 0, it was like 0.5 or 0.3 or whatever it is, then it won't add it. So that's why we put this modulus. And if you don't know what modulus is, we have already covered this in the previous video, but it's just basically the remainder. So, like, yeah, the remainder of items, if you, like, divide it by 1. And then the remainder would be 0. If it's not equal to 0, then it would add. That's why when we did that 4.8, it came back with 4.8, because if it's not equal to 0, well, then it would have added anything that's a decimal. But we're getting positive numbers, which is why we only have 5 and 3. So these aren't positive. This is a decimal, and this is what's remaining. Okay, so now we have to square. Now we have to square. Oh boy, we have to square each of them. So we could do a map where we have to map it. So const mapped list equals filtered list dot map, then items. Within here we will have to do a items. How do I do that? Is it this? To a second power? Or is that x? How do I? Now I need to figure out. How do you square it? Is this, or do you put SQ? I know, I think there's one for square root, but like, it's SQ. I don't think that's right. Or square. Yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah, I could use a for loop, but what? Oh. Math dot. Is that this? Oh. Square root. Item. What? Square root. Wait, hold on. No, that's what it was. Power. That's what it is. I was sitting there, I didn't think so. Square root wouldn't be that. So you have this, and then your times it by 2. How? Oh wait, are you returning it? Oh wait a minute. Ha! Here we go. Hold on. That's why. There we go. So you do it by a power of 2. Divides those 2 in. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And, you know, thank you for coming by. And following. So I hope to see you here in one of the next videos, or, you know, sometime in the future. Really had a good time, and, you know, good luck with, you know, your adventures with C++ and Kotlin, and, you know, getting into game dev. That's pretty cool. I know that's a really hard market, so, you know, stick with it. That's all I can say, and, you know, make something cool. But I really appreciate the condolences. I really appreciate it. So we got a power of 2. So if I were just doing the square root of items, where would that still get? What is square root? Okay, yeah, because you're breaking it down. So that's why I was kind of confused. So yeah, the power of 2, like, to what power? And so you're timesing it by itself by 2. There you go. So nice. So there you go. That's how you do it. You have your filter list of how you're filtering it, and then you're mapping it to do this right here, returning it, and that's how you get it. Alright, so one of the coolest things that I enjoy, and this would come in handy for like a lot of applications that you do, is the sort method, to be able to sort all your items. So, okay. So, okay. The sort method sorts the elements of an array according to the callback function, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you were here. I'm sincerely glad you were here for it. And, thank you. Jeez. Default sorting method is by Unicode point value which return unexpected results. Therefore, is encouraged to provide a callback function to specify how to sort the array items. Supplied. The array elements are sorted according to the return value of the compare function. So, according to the return value of the returns a value less than 0 for 2 elements A and B, then A will come before B. If compare function AB returns a value greater than 0 for two elements, A and B, then B will come before A. Should AB returns a value equal to 0 for two elements, A and B, then A and B will remain unchanged. So let's look how this is when we sort it. If we just did a simple sort. So, console. So we have the, if you do the regular sort, it goes from A all the way to Z in ascending order. So, or that would be descending. Sorted array. So if you did that, then yeah. MMNX. Yeah, so if you just did it like this and just retorted, just did a dot sort, then that would do it in alphabetical order. So A, B, if we did a arrow function in this, then we would do a so return A minus B. So what would that be? So I'm just kind of looking at what each one of these do. So this looks like it returns the way it is. A is greater than B. G. If A is equal to B, then 0. A is less than B. 1. -1. So this goes backwards. Okay. So this is like a ascending order. Yep. You're starting from low and you're going higher. Obviously descending is going from higher to lower. So this would be descending right here. So we'll kind of look at what it's going. This is the condition. If it's true, it would be 0. But if it's not true, this is like an else if A is less than B. 0, else if A is less than B, then B 1. But default else would just be a -1. So this is kind of like this, if you want to see it like this is how it would go. So it'd be 0, do this, it'd be 1, else would be -1. But yeah, we're just gonna do a regular sort here. Because we're just going in ascending. Go. Return a sorted array without changing the original array. So we just do a return of array dot sort. Is that all it would be? Just want to make sure. So sol.log. So remember, you don't want to, if you want to sort it, so it goes like this, okay? So it's sorting, right? But sol.log, we have to make sure. Okay, so as you can see here, it changed it. Because it's taken in and it's changing this around. So we will store it. So const new array would be the create a new array with all its values. Then we will do a return with array.sorts. So let's do that. So now we have sol.log non-mutating sort with global array, right? But the global array should be will be untouched. So you would do this a lot for like inventories and stuff, depending on how you would want to do that. So why? So if I did this right here, right, what would this? Got something in my mouth. Just like, I don't know if it's like hanging between my teeth or what. So that's why, is because this had a 1 right here. So it's thinking that this is comparable to this. So now we actually have to do a function here. So A, b function. Okay, so a. So how do we do this? Return if a is less than b. There we go. Or a minus b. So there we go. So that worked. Oh, that's right. How did I change that, didn't I? Oh, crap. Well, I have to, there we go. So let's change this back. We know what we're doing though. We have to change that back, sort A, B. Okay. Turn A, B. There we go. So what if I did like a okay. So that's a true ascending order. It's the A minus B. You can, if you did sort, it won't. You could have some errors, as what we've seen beforehand. Split. So split a string into arrays in the split method. Oh yeah, we've done this. So. If we did this, we split the string using string.split. It splits it all into an array, and you can choose what you want it to do. So here, hello world, I am code, right? You can actually do. So this is another thing. So you can split like certain things, like if you want to spread words out into each like different value, you would use a split, but you have to give what exactly you're splitting. And I know I did this in the previous session. We just take the string, do a split, but then you have to, oh wait, we have to return it. So we do a split, right? But we have to use where are we splitting at. So when it encounters a space, then we'll split it. So let's see what this produces. So if we do a console.log, okay. So see, it splits this right here, and then it goes to this value, and then splits it right here. So anytime it encounters a space, then it'll split. Three words. The function should return the array. Note that the words are not always separated by spaces, and the array should not contain punctuation. Alright, should return hello world, I am code. So a space. Okay, so you'd have to give it a specifics, huh? So world I am code. Okay, so specifically if we did this, right? Okay, so if it does this and it encounters this, right? Or this. Can't put a thing there. So we got the space. So how would we do? Like if it's non-word. And like if it's a character, I can't remember. It was you had the uppercase, you had the lowercase. You detect symbols and spaces. So you have the lowercase, but you have the uppercase. So there you go. That's how you would do it. So remember our context from regex when we were doing that. So as you can see in this right here, if you were to split it just specifically by here, you can. However, you're gonna have where you want to split it by numbers, so you'd have to use what we use in regex, and use like use those shorthands to split it up. So this, as you notice, the backslash with a D was to stand for digits. The small W stood for like a character, and then if you did like the backslash small W with a plus, it would go for each word. So we couldn't do that because it wouldn't affect it. We'd still have, the symbols and that sort of stuff. So what we would do is we put the capital W, which detects symbols and spaces, which I had to obviously look up because, I mean, it happens, off the tip of, we can't know what's, happening at the tip of our, or the tip. We don't know what is, we don't always remember the syntax. That's the thing. And sometimes we have to go, perfect example here, that we have to go and we have to look at stuff. Probably light that up a little bit more. It's getting kind of dark. So we'll throw that in. Okay. So join methods. Okay. So if we have things that are already, so we already did join method. So we'll do this. See how this is here? We could actually do a string, right? Dot join, and we could tell what. So this is the opposite from splitting. So you can split it up or you can join it, and we're gonna join it on by these. It's not a function. Oh, because this isn't an array. So we'd have to convert it into an array. So we'd have to split it. So split string equal string dot split. Right. console.log. Let's look at the split string. Okay, so it couldn't split it up. So let's split it up by these, right? And then let's join it, right? So split.string.join, and then there you go. So as we can see, it's going to do this with different things. So let's go ahead and make the regex again. All right. Split it up by see if this. There we go. So now we're splitting it up by whenever it encounters a like a symbol. When it encounters a symbol or space, it's going to split it. And then that splits it up into an array, right? So now we're going to join them back together, and that will make this right here. So pretty easy. So now you know how to split it up. We can join them back together. So, okay, apply functional programming, convert strings to URL slugs. Okay. Right. Right, let's combine what we've learned to solve a practical problem. Many content management sites, alright, have the titles of a post added to part of the URL for simple bookmarking purposes. For example, if you write a Medium post titled "Stop Using Reduce," it's likely the URL will have some form of the title string in it. You may already notice this is on FreeCodeCamp site. Fill in the URL slug function. Okay. Well, if some form, you may have already noticed that converts a string title and returns the hyphenated version of the URL. Can use any of the methods recovered in this section and don't use replace. Okay, so we need to make sure it's all lowercase. So that's the first thing. Let's do a to lower to make sure everything is lowercase. So let lowered string. So let's do that with title dot to lower. Or is it to lower or to lower case? It's one of them. Alright, there we go. To lowercase. So when we return, it should log should do the lowered string. Alright, so see, now it's on there. So now let's do a lowered string and let's split it, right? So we'll do, dot split. We'll split it into by the we're gonna split this right? Okay, so that should, oh wait, hold on, so we do it dot join with, so this is a lowered string, but why isn't that? Okay. 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 Okay, there we go. Right. So new array dot join. Now it's gonna split. Wait. I gotta look at this. Okay. There we go. So we lowercase everything. We then split it to an array. But I can't do this. Is that because it's not? Okay, so that makes sense. So we did the split array, but it can't because it needs to go into should winter is coming, should be winter is coming. So is it because I did a const.log? It should return winter. Winter is coming. So instead of splitting this, we will use. Obviously, we have to. Now we're just gonna have to use this every time. Like if we encounter a symbol or anything like that. What? I need to look. So winter is coming. Please tell me how that's not. Ah. So we also have to remove so at the beginning. So the beginning has to be a character. Crap. So it's a character, and so what does the split array look like? That's what I need to look at. That's why. Let's do an if. Split array 0 equal to So we'll do that. And shift. Yeah. Let array shift. There we go. Damn it. Oh. Is that because of this? Oh, it didn't return it, that's why. I could use the trim and take out all the spaces. Ah, it would turn into a long issue. So then there's else if same character. Can I do a trim? Split array dot trim. That should trim the beginning and end. And then we return 0 if so I will do this. Lowered string dot trim. So we'll trim off the beginning and end. And then we shouldn't even have to have this. So this should trim off the beginning and the end. I should actually look at Okay, so it trimmed off the beginning and ends for any spaces. Now, I have to figure out this problem. Okay, so this trim should already do. So I did the split though. So I trimmed it, but so how do I split? I did a Phew. Okay. So would I use the split array, not for each item, right? Could I? Right. If item equal to a symbol or a space. Well, I will actually do this. I can do this. What? Yeah, why is that? Oh, because of this, okay. So the item is that we will do split dot array. Wait, no, array dot splice item 0. and then end it with 0. Okay. So, okay. Ah! Okay, it's not... So we can just, if it comes to this thing, or item is equal to you know what? We'll do this. We'll say if it's not. No, it doesn't matter. It's still gonna do it. I could do this and put an or. Let's. Damn it. I guess I can. Okay, so when I have to do this, would it be dot index? Index, two, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So, yeah, it found it. Okay, so it just goes one place and removes it. So I mean, that's a long way to do it, but is that because of the console? Well, I did it. I mean, it took some steps, but to make sure that the item is not. So what if I did so if I did that? See, now because that only works for this. It's not good enough. So each item in here. So this is though. See, it's not going through here. That's what I'm saying. Because there is one right here. It removes one, but there's still another one. So I can say I could do, you know what? A map. So dot map item is okay. Maybe a filter. So there we go. That makes it better. So if anything comes in, because it's going to take all of those or whatnot, take those out. But for some reason, it takes them all out, but keeps adding those spaces in there. So we'll just filter it, right? Do the filtered array and join it. So let's do the new URL. Oh. So we added an extra measure in there to make sure that no matter what comes through there, there won't be any extra spaces that are not supposed to be in. Okay. So there we go. Use the every method to check that every element passes a particular test. It returns a Boolean value of true. If all values meet the criteria, false if not. For example, the following code would check if every element in the numbers array is less than 10. That would be false. Use the every method inside the check positive function to check if every element in the array is positive. So return array dot every so value. Oops. I don't know how I did that. Value. Let's throw this in here. Okay. So value. Alright, in there. Return. Value is less than. Oh, is greater than 0. So there we go. So basically it's just going to check every value and see if it's greater than 0. Okay. So that was a check positive. The sum method works with arrays to check if any element passes a particular test. It returns a Boolean value true if any of the values meet the criteria. So it's like an AND or an OR operator. So as long as if one passes it, then it's okay. Use the sum method inside the check positive. So this should return true. So array dot sum. So value return. So we gotta return this. So return value is greater than 0. This would be true. So true, 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 false, true. So everything will be true because there was at least one, right? So if we did this, so console.log, okay, it come out as true because one of them is true. So you have sum and then you have any, or every. The arity of a function is the number of arguments it requires. Currying a function means to convert a function of n arity into n functions of arity 1. In other words, it restructures the function so it takes one argument, then returns another function that takes the next argument, and so on. Okay, so it takes this function, returns x plus y. This is uncarried, but here's a carried one, which in here you have this, then you have a return another function that has this value, and then it has this value, and then it adds together, and then you have this one that's carried. So you have this, and then you have another function, and then x plus y carried 1, 2. We'll return 3. Okay. Yeah. So odd. If you can't supply all the arguments to a function at one time, you can save each function call into a variable which will hold the return function reference that takes the next argument when it's available. Example above. So for y, so cur is 1. Then console log function for y, and you put 2, which should be 3. So pretty much it just takes this as a function, and then when it's called, it just adds it. Describe as applying a few arguments to a function at a time and returning another function that is applied to more arguments. So you have the impartial xyz, it returns all these plus, but the partial function does so impartial dot bind. So this 1, 2. Okay, so 10 makes 13. So it takes the impartial and then binds it to this one. X, Y, Z. So it does this. So then so const. Okay, hold on. So return const so we'll just use the partial function as a thing here, right? Partial function, which is the add dot bind. Then you have so this, but this doesn't have an so function partial fn for partial function. Then we have the y and z, right? Y, z, right? So return x plus y plus z. Okay, how did it do? Oh. Because you have to return the function too. Okay. So you have a y, and then we do another. What did this? So this would be function, and then you add another function. Z. Wait, hold on. So you would use a Y. Should then use this. And then you would use a Z. Right? So then you would do a X plus Y plus Z. That is not a fun. What are you talking about? So I did that. I did. So function Y. Right? So I did function Y. So 60. Okay. So it takes one. Then returns a function of Y of the next one. And Y right here, and then returns all of it. Okay. I think I got it. Well, that. Alright, so there you go, guys. That is the end of functional programming. Took 3 hours to do, but we're done. So we only have 2 areas left, and that's intermediate algorithm scripting, and we'll be moving on to our last section for algorithms and data structures. So that's awesome. We're actually really far into this. We'll be actually getting all the things we need in our skill book that we're needing to build, our websites and stuff. And when we start getting into like React and all these other different things that require, JavaScript, knowledge, we'll have a basic, a good foundation to build off of. But yeah, I'm actually excited for that to come up. That's probably going to be a, that could be, you know, 4 or 5 part video, you know, just figuring out how to do these algorithms. But it might not. It could actually be easier. But as far as what we did through here, trying to do this stuff, I don't know. It's definitely gonna be some time. But yeah. Thank you guys for coming by. Like I said, apologize for not being on for this whole week. And you know, those of you that don't know what has been going on, like I said, I'll this, like all my other videos, are going to be uploaded to YouTube and stuff as well, so you know, at least you have some reasoning for that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be back on Sunday, like get back on that schedule of every other day, because you know, I don't want to fall into like some sort of slump or anything, because you know, I really enjoy doing this work, and I love being able to see you guys and come in and, you know, be able to, you know, problem solve and, you know, help, you know, build my skill sets and stuff too. So, all right, I got a few other things I have to do myself during the day, for the rest of the day, so I'm gonna head off, and I'll catch all you guys later. Thank you guys for coming, really appreciate it. So have a good night, enjoy your weekend.